grander national destiny. This really frames the entire vision that we're about to explore. So, what's the end goal of all this? It's a concept called Viksit Bharat, which is the national vision to become a fully developed nation by 2047, right on its 100th anniversary of independence. And here's the absolute key takeaway from the source. The kids of today, they aren't just going to live in this developed India. No, they're being positioned as the ones who will actually build it. They're the architects.
Okay, so let's dig into this vision a little more. The core idea here is really a shift in perspective. You see, today's youth aren't just seen as, passive recipients of government policies. They're seen as the future torchbearers who are being actively prepared and equipped to lead the nation into its next big chapter.
Now, to make this vision feel a bit more grounded and personal, the source points to a very specific style of communication. This quote from the Prime Minister frames the whole relationship not as a leader talking to citizens, but as a friend talking to a friend. It's a way of saying that this huge national dream is actually personal, and it's found in the potential of every single child.
All right, let's get into the actual strategy. It all starts with the very first pillar, health and nutrition. And the logic here is really straightforward. You can't have a strong mind without a strong body. This is presented as the absolute bedrock, the foundation that everything else gets built on.
And wow, when you look at the results in this area, they're pretty staggering. The source cites a UN report that shows a 78% drop in the under 5 mortality rate in India between 1990 and 2023. I mean, that is a huge number, and it's used as the core piece of evidence for why this intense focus on early childhood health is just so critical. So, what's behind this progress? Well, the source points directly at initiatives like Mission Indradhanush. You can think of it as a nationwide vaccination drive, but basically supercharged. It expanded the number of free vaccines from 6 to 12 and launched these really targeted campaigns to make sure that every single child and pregnant woman is reached. And the strategy gets even more specific, zeroing in on what they call the critical first 1,000 days of a child's life. It's designed to be this continuous chain of support. It starts with nutrition for the mother during pregnancy, goes through the PM Matru Vandana Yojana for benefits, and carries all the way through to early childhood care. The whole idea is to break that intergenerational cycle of malnutrition before it even starts.
Now, of course, for any of this to actually work, you need the infrastructure on the ground. And this just shows you the sheer scale of that effort. We're talking about upgrading literally hundreds of thousands of local Anganwadi centers. These are the community hubs for child and maternal care, with basic, essential stuff like clean water, toilets, and electricity. The goal is to turn them into what the source calls Saksham Anganwadis, which literally means capable centers.
Okay, so once that foundation of health is in place, the strategy moves on to the second major pillar, education and skills. This is all about building up the minds that are expected to innovate, to create, and to lead this future developed nation.
And the absolute centerpiece here is the National Education Policy of 2020. This thing is a total overhaul of the old school system. It gets rid of the old 10+2 model and brings in this new 5+3+3+4 structure. The big idea, the why behind it, is to move away from rigid rote learning and toward a model that's more holistic, focusing on play-based learning in the early years and giving students a lot more flexibility later on.
But how do you actually foster innovation in a classroom? Well, the source highlights one really big initiative, the Adult Innovation Mission. This has led to the creation of 10,000 of what are called adult tinkering labs in schools all across the country. And the reach of these labs? It's massive. These labs now connect with over 1.1 crore, or 11 million students. The whole point is to get science and tech out of the textbook and into kids' hands, to encourage them to experiment, to build, to invent right from a young age.
So what does one of these modern schools actually look like? The source points to this model called the PM Shri School. And they're being kitted out with everything from smart classrooms and integrated science labs to workshops for vocational skills. The goal is to make learning way more practical. For instance, they have this concept of 10 bagless days a year, where students go out and do internships and hands-on projects, directly connecting what they learn in school to real-world skills.
Okay, so you've got a healthy child, you've got an educated child, but they also have to be a safe child. And that brings us to the third and final pillar of the strategy, safety and security. This is all about creating that protective legal and social bubble that kids need to really thrive.
A huge piece of this puzzle is making the laws tougher. The source walks through major amendments to laws that protect children,
For example, the PSOCO Act, which deals with sexual offenses against kids, was amended to allow for the death penalty in the absolute worst cases. And similarly, the Child Labor Act was updated to put a complete ban on any kind of employment for children under 14.
So laws are one thing, but what about direct support for the kids who are in the most vulnerable situations? The source asks this directly. How does the system take care of children who have tragically lost their parents?
Well, the answer presented is the PM Cares for Children scheme. And it's described as a complete safety net. It covers just about everything, from school fees and health insurance up to 5 lakh rupees to a monthly allowance. And crucially, it also provides a lump sum of 10 lakh rupees when they turn 23, giving them a real financial foundation to start their adult lives.
So let's pull all of this together now. The source really emphasizes that these 3 pillars, health, education, and safety, they're not just separate policies floating around. They're presented as 3 interconnected legs of a single stool. It's a holistic strategy designed to support the next generation from every single angle.
This quote really brings the whole philosophy full circle, doesn't it? The underlying message is that a nation's strength isn't just about its economy or its military, it's a direct reflection of the well-being of its youngest citizens. The idea is simple but powerful. A healthy, happy child literally builds a healthy, prosperous nation.
And so we're left with this final question. What does it really take to nurture a generation of torchbearers? Well, according to the vision laid out here, the answer is a massive, sustained, multi-decade commitment across health, education, and safety. It's a powerful reminder of the immense responsibility of raising a generation that won't